right, I'm Val Moore Boyley, better known as Val or Pop Pop.
All right. What was it like growing up in Brooklyn during World War II?
Well, it was pretty nice. I lived in Park Slope, Brooklyn, until I was 29 years old, in the same house, and I lived on a street where there were at least 20 kids living there all my age. And when World War II came, we did a lot of things. There was a lot of scrap metal drives. We used to go pick up stuff and then probably keep most of it for ourselves. But you used to be able to throw the scrap metal in a big pile in a schoolyard down the block. And I used to like to look at the airplanes. They always had little spotters cards to check to see what kind of airplanes are flying over. As I grew older during the war, I started to smoke, much to my parents' dismay, and we used to buy single cigarettes, for a penny apiece, I guess it was. But we all had a lot of friends, and each block had its own gang of kids. And when it snowed, we had snowball fights with the kids from 6th Street, because we lived on 5th Street. And sometimes we get the kids from 4th Street to join us to have a fight against the kids on 6th Street. And we had a lot of fun. It's a shame I had 2 uncles or 3 uncles that went to war. There's not much to tell. Our major thing during the war was playing stickball out in the street. And we had teams. Our team was called the Kings, and we used to play in Manual Schoolyard, which was the high school down the block. What's next? We always used to steal broomsticks from the janitor and make baseball bats out of them. And the poor old man had come chasing after us, yelling why we took his brooms.
How did it affect you? Did it affect you in any way?
Actually, as a kid, let's see, when World War II started, I guess I was 10 years old. I always liked to go to the movies on a Saturday afternoon, and they'd always be showing some kind of war movies. They had a lot of war movies that was made before World War II started. And once World War II started, there were so many World War II movies that we always got interested in the Army. I don't know. I used to like to draw a lot, so my main thing was drawing soldiers and Marines.
Do you remember, what was your most distinct memory while World War II was happening? Like, do you remember when it started or when it ended?
The main thing I remember was a big fuss that they made about Dunkirk and the British evacuating their troops from France. Thousands of small boats came in across the channel to rescue most of the soldiers that were trying to get away from there. And they made quite a big thing about that. And that stands vividly in my mind. The newsreels that they showed in the movie houses. We didn't have television then. But of course, the newsreels were all slanted towards us. And well, I don't know. The other thing I remember is VJ Day or VE Day. Not sure which, but the pictures in Times Square. My father was working for the City Patrol Corps at the time, right on 42nd Street and 6th Avenue at the public library. There was a water control center there, which was valuable. They couldn't afford to have it sabotaged. And the crowds were all over the place, and he, of all people, found a $5 bill and all the confetti in the paper that was, and I remember that the most.